Hey guys, welcome back to Tetris Tuesdays at 10. I'm Ryan, and I don't typically do an introduction for this series, but this week is special. It's literally the day Tetris Forever comes out, and this is in no way sponsored by that game or company, and I haven't played a second of it, and I can tell you it's worth your money. But stick around. I haven't decided if it's legal to stream that game, but I have a feeling I'm going to buy that game and take a day off and just go ham. So stay tuned possibly for that. But for this, we are back at it with the Tetris games from 1988 still, believe it or not. We still have not moved on from 1988. And this week, it's the TRS-80 version of the game, which, did you know, there are two technically TRS-80 computers that I could be referring to? I did not. And in a world where I need to emulate these, luckily I did this last week and not at 2 a.m. like I normally do the day before. But I spent a good long time trying to emulate apparently the wrong version of the TRS-80, which wasn't completely fruitless because a lot of the emulators did include both machines. But it turns out if I really want to get the job done with the Radio Shack TRS-80 color computer, I guess was the other TRS-80 was just the TRS-80. This one did come with the name color computer, which was often shortened to Coco, which I think I've heard of. So I didn't have one, but we're going to emulate the Coco 3, which apparently used the Motorola 6809E. And I think that's the actual machine I got. I always try to emulate the highest performing version of the machine that I can. So this week that's brought to us by, also not sponsored, so brought to us, but made possible, still sounds like, now it sounds like PBS, by XRoar, which is a Mac app that emulates the Coco 3, yes. So big thanks to those folks. You've made it possible this week, and relatively pain-free as well. It is one of those emulators. A lot of the emulators I'm running into do require you to download BIOS files and put them in different places on your computer. That was the big hurdle with XRoar for a little bit, but again, pretty simple, especially with the added help of the colorcomputerarchive.com. That's where I found the BIOS files. So a lot of people, as always, doing the work that makes my life easier, because as much as I'd like to own all of the hardware, I don't think that's an option, and certainly not in this case. How would I even video out from the Tandy? I guess I do have we'll worry about that later. And with, by the way, it's also called the Tandy, if you've heard it. I think it was rebranded the Tandy later on. I don't think I have a year on that, but if you hear somebody referring to the Tandy, they're referring to the TRS-80 color computer, which, now that I think about it, probably was a smart move because of the other TRS-80. So good job, Radio Shack. This one you're going to see pretty quick is for the version of Tetris developed by ZCT Systems Group, which I actually did find a short bio for. Apparently ZCT Systems was the company that Greg Zumwalt programmed for and owned starting around 1984-85 when he was not doing direct contract work for Tandy. So that was kind of my guess, since I couldn't, in the Tetris wiki, there's no actual bio for ZCT Systems. I was like, my guess is that this is like, Tandy's own, sometimes with the microcomputers, I guess this would still be considered a microcomputer, although I think it's punching above its weight. We're not necessarily looking at an Amiga or something like that. Although the game itself, pretty reminiscent, so I could be wrong on that front. Let's put it on par with the microcomputers we've done so far. But my guess was that, yeah, it was somebody employed by in that proprietary microcomputer realm of the TRS-80 that did this on a sublicense from Spectrum Holobyte, because they did have the computer rights at the time, or thought they did. So yes, ZCT Systems, it turns out, did both ports and original games for the Tandy during the mid to late 1980s. And since Greg Zumwalt had done programming for other systems as well, such as DOS, and hacks on retro systems like the Atari 2600. And that's a short little bio that comes from mobygames.com, which is, there's probably more, but that was the first one that popped up that made it easy to understand. So enough talk, right? Let's get to the Tandy. So this, I try to learn the command line as often as possible. I didn't get that far with this, so we're just going to use the run command from the actual computer, or application, I should say. And with that, we're going to load. I don't think you guys get this window, so you have to trust me. There we go. So I'm going to put this in my ear real quick, but it should be going through to you guys. But when it comes to sound, not a ton to speak of here. And I used to have a picture, because once I start the program, that helpful little menu on the left is going to disappear, and I'm going to not entirely remember how to get it all back. So just in case, I don't know, because I feel like with games like this, we're going back. You can see JLK over there, back on the editor's hotkeys for the Tetris game here. I don't know if, like other Tetris games of this era or ilk, it's going to give me a new background. So I'm going to leave this all off until we level up and I find out. Maybe I'll turn the level on so I can tell when we're leveling up. But I don't know if the background is going to change, so we'll leave that up to the moment. Okay, otherwise we should be good to go. So let's give this a shot. Nope. There. Starting on 0. All around, as always. And so this has happened sometimes. The editor's hotkeys did not grab for whatever. So we're going to do a soft reset. I think it's the longer I wait. So let's go right into it. There we go. Okay, we're on. K to rotate, spacebar to hard drop. And we will try for a Tetris here. I think there is an actual sound difference between just a line clear and a Tetris, but I'm not sure it's purposeful. I think it's because there is a single sound for a line clear. Jeez, these are not. And no, what a start. I think it's because there's a single sound for a line clear, and then when you do a Tetris, it just makes that sound like a lot very quickly. This is horrible. This is absolutely... On today of all days, Tetris Forever Day, this is how I do it. There you go. Oh wait, why didn't that come through my speaker? Well, not a huge deal, as long as you guys are still getting it, but just a quick beep on this one. And no music, did you notice? I don't know if this is one of those times. No idea why that wouldn't be coming through my own speaker, but as long as it's going to you guys as well. Which I don't know that it is, so let me find out by doing this. Nope, that wouldn't actually give me a line anyways. This will. You're getting the sound, so I'm happy. We'll live with it. Although I did just... It's okay, we can recover. Although this isn't, you know, a bulletproof software version by any stretch of the imagination, you know, actually got some speed going on here. Bulletproof software version's very slow. Hey, let's see if I can do this. Look at that. We're still in it. No shade thrown at the bulletproof software versions, of course, but I feel like they've made a very specific use case for themselves now. I will play a bulletproof software version of Tetris when I want to have a marathon session without necessarily using the marathon game mode. That would be funny if that's where that came from, though. I mean, I think it would be funny. We're coming back on this one, though. So let's, I must have leveled up by now, right? And the background has not changed. So maybe we can turn some of those things on. I is speed up, so we want to stay away from that. 1 is next, to leave that off, because it's usually a points bonus if I leave that off. 2 is help. That would bring up this little screen that I'm staring at, but we'll try to do without since I've got it here on my left. 3 is statistic, and 4 is level. So let's turn on that. Those are my stats, and 4 is level. Yeah, we're level 2. Okay. All right. And then if the background does change, I'll toggle those off so we can get a good look at it. Not noticing much of a speed up, though, I'll be honest. Got the delayed auto send. What was the S for? DAS, I think it was. DAR, maybe. Delayed auto repeat. If I hold down on the button, it goes. But again, at this point, I don't know if that's a function of the emulator or not. So. We'll just say that for the purposes of this, at this moment, delayed auto repeat is a send, is a go. Keep wanting to say delayed auto send. Guess I don't need this in my ear if it's not going to actually work. So yeah, pretty reminiscent of the Spectrum Holobyte, even some of the Mirrorsoft stuff from before. So I don't know why I necessarily thought, you know, it's because they were console versions. Console versions seem a little bit more frozen in time. Sometimes feels like a step forward, but is hardly ever that, right? Okay, well, time to just start. Okay, well. Could have used those lines several seconds earlier. Okay, still going. I need to start getting the level down or it's gonna get real ugly real fast. Not the, yeah, see. If I were better at this game, I would leave a spot that's like as advanced as I ever get. Nope, didn't make it. Wow, there is no lock delay. So the time it takes from a piece to lock into place once it gets to the floor, which I think I was kind of equating with infinite spin to some extent, which is probably what lock delay, or a version of lock delay, turned into. Wow, lucked out with that line. I was about to create a real bad situation for myself. level 6 now. I don't know why I did that. I haven't been doing that the whole time. Just kind of twitched on the hard drop there for some reason. Nope. Trying to make that fit over on the right. It was not meant to be. Talk about the messiest game of Tetris maybe I've ever played on this particular series, given how it started and how it's going. And how it will continue to go. Yeah, I don't see this. Ooh, okay, well. Oh, looks like there's also a death sound. Oh, wow, no leaderboard. Kind of a bare bones version, isn't it? I don't mind the look, to tell you the truth, you know? That's why I'm like, if this is a microcomputer version, it's you know, pretty recognizable as such. Okay, that's a lot of lines. Do I take the time to let it fall so I can push it to the left? Well, now I'm just going to have to keep track of my own score, I guess, to know if I'm... Yeah, just a pile of lines over there. I mean, any game's got to be better than that last one. So yes, obviously very much looking forward to Tetris Forever. Hang out if you would. And not, you know, it's not going to be directly after. I don't think I have anything on the schedule today, but if I do, it's canceled. I can't remember the last time I've taken the day off for a video game, you know, with a release that's, you know, maybe this never, like, even in the times when it was a thing, probably would have been a midnight release, you know. Nobody was waiting in line at GameStop to pick up Tetris Forever. They should be, but that was me for some games. And while that, I don't even know, does that even happen anymore? I don't think it does, right? One of the many things that digital has claimed. Which I would buy a physical of Tetris Forever if it exists. I guess that's the first thing I need to figure out. I wouldn't be surprised folks at Digital Eclipse are, let's say, more than in tune with the, I don't know, is it the collectible market, or the collectability of games? I mean, obviously they're releasing with their Gold Master series, and with Tetris Forever included, they're, you know, very keen on the preservation and history of games. So wouldn't be surprised if there was a physical. You know, maybe limited run will do something, but I don't think, if I had to guess, that I'm gonna go down to Walmart and find a physical of Tetris Forever necessarily. But I will look it up first before I get the digital version also. I would imagine anybody that's here right now knows what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Tetris Forever, but I guess if you don't, or maybe haven't heard of the Gold Master series either, which I don't know if that branding, like, technically shows up on Tetris Forever. Like, I don't know if you're going to see, this is getting dicey here. But it's just this kind of, like, I think they put Atari 50 in there. The Jeff Minter one was in there. I'm missing one. Oh, the Karateka. This is not falling apart fast here. Ooh, 2 lines in a row. I wonder if the stats gives me a points penalty as well, because that would be kind of, I mean, if I were better, it would be, anyways. That would be something that would give away whether or not, I guess, would it though? Would it actually give away whether or not you're going to see a certain type of piece sooner than later? Maybe not, actually. But with a return to this type of scoring, that probably means that Tetrises don't really do anything for me. Oh boy. Dang it. Again, if I were better, I'd be leaving spots open for an O piece, for a square. But that part of my brain does not function. Was not. Oh boy. The speed at which these fall apart will never cease to amaze me. I think we might be done with this one, unless I can get it back down before I level up somehow. Which means I will need the pieces to do so. They are not coming. Almost looked like I killed myself there. I did, but not in the way that you're thinking. What did I get to? 3787. So it keeps my score up there. 3787. That should be easy to remember. And then it resets. Yeah, okay. 3787. Off to, wow! 3 lines in a row. It's like the game. Tetris, the universe, the game wants me to talk about the 7-bag system, wherein you would three of the same piece in a row would be a literal impossibility. 2 in a row would be possible, because again, the 7-bag. Like, I'm gonna explain it again every time. Pretend all of each Tetris piece, one of each, is in a bag, and you're pulling them out of that bag. So in such a situation, it would obviously be impossible to get 2 of any piece, or I'm sorry, 3 of any piece in a row. Probably could have used those lines at a different time. Oh, I haven't checked on the wall kicks yet. No wall kicks. But of course, when it's not the 7-bag system, you can pull 3 of the same piece. Thought I took one for the team, laying that line flat, and then it ended up who gives a guy S pieces on a flat playing field? A real sicko, that's who. Oh, I actually had a picture. I don't know why I'm putting that there. This is, you're bad at this game. A picture of the Coco from an ad that I was actually going to throw on the screen. And why did I do that? That wasn't a good thing to do. I guess that could have been worse. It's not a bad looking piece of hardware, actually. I mean, some of you are too young to remember But Radio Shack was hot stuff back in the day. Radio Shack still around? I know they shut down a bunch. I don't know if they shut down all of them. Can I get a ruling on that? Chat? There's nobody in the chat that I know of. That's why that was funny. Or was it 37-87? Is that what my score was? We're coming back. We are coming back. We're coming back to you. We will never leave your side again. Is that it? Totally blanking on the name of that band. Cockspurs? That can't be it. They're from England, so it's different. Don't come at me. What level are we on? Level 5. What have I tapped out at so far? Topped out at 6, I think. And keep it going here. I'm going to steer away from the Tetrises for a while. Well, if I can. Try. Wow, as soon as I say that, it's like line after line. Sure, these are not the pieces I need to do what I'm trying to do. Not the most, I mean, the playing field's just black, which obviously isn't rare in Tetris, and I guess the actual rarity would be the Mirrorsoft, and is there some Spectrum Holobytes games in there with the colored backgrounds or patterned backgrounds? I actually can't remember now. I think maybe there might not have been, so maybe that was, strictly speaking, a Mirrorsoft hallmark, but not something that, you know, I ever grew up with or was used to. So the fact that I'm still thinking that's helpful or interesting when it's not around is also interesting. Okay, that's a lot of those pieces. Not sure I'm into that. There we go. That's the one I wanted. This is going to create a bad situation for me. So is that. This is real bad. I need to just give up. That kind of worked out, or might work out, I guess I should say. Level 7. All right, so we're already in uncharted territory at this point. 55-11 for the score, so definitely higher than last time. Have no idea what I scored the first time around. This is only the third game, is that right? Oh, nope, I don't know why I tried that. Also don't know, I may never find out if there is an end game to these, you know. Does it just keep going? Level 8. Get over there. Oh boy. This is not going to turn out. Get on. No. Cannot believe I figured that one out. Would have rather that went a different way, but nope. Wouldn't let me wall kick it. Oh no. 67-16. Pretty good, I guess. I don't really know. Should we do one more? Let's do one more. See if we can beat 67. Let's say 7,000. Keep it in even at 7,000. Can we break 7,000? Oh, okay, well, that is one way to do that. Not the best beginning. So the delayed auto repeat is not really enough to, like, it. I still need single presses at least level 8, maybe level 7, to do most of what I was trying to do there. So not always a useful feature. But again, I feel like it's something that wouldn't have been game specific necessarily, right? Would have been machine specific, whether or not that was a thing. You could hold down the button to get the key to repeat. Probably should have laid that down. O Tower is back. I've fully converted to calling squares O's at this point. I don't know if anybody wants to talk me back from that one, but I should look up where the Tetris wiki is headquartered. I think that's where I'm getting that. I think the Tetris wiki refers to them as O pieces, which I took to mean that most people did, or serious Tetris people did, but I guess I don't know necessarily if that's true either. If the site is headquartered in the UK, maybe that's just how they refer to squares, O pieces. Haven't really looked that up. Did not leave a place for that square. Better at leaving places for lines, not necessarily on purpose. C. But we're not going to wait. Still no clockwise rotation on this. Just counterclockwise, I believe. A little S tower going on there. Here we go. Probably shouldn't do that. These are some real weird things here. That's not good. That's better. That's worse. Would I get a higher score, possibly a higher level, even with the penalty, if I kept the next signifier turned on? Take it. Only on, oh, we're at level 5 already. Does kind of go quickly. That was a little lucky. 2, and there it is. 3 lines in a row. Again, just rubbing it in. Are you enjoying the silence? That's my preferred way of Tetrising, so I am, but I also enjoy the music. That was a large part of this series, as I wanted to see what everybody was doing with the music. Okay. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. We're level 6, so I'm really just all about keeping the level low so that when things get hairy, I've got some wiggle room. 'Cause it's basically just a game of attrition at that point. I'm going to make mistakes. Things are going to get bad. Can they get the least amount of bad possible? This isn't ideal. Nope. I just didn't want to create a worse situation, and I created a worse situation. Although now I've got, shoot, this could be the first. This could be a first for Tetris Tuesdays if I can pull this off, guys. Ready? Hold on. Okay, here we go. No T-spinning. Actually, I think I put that in the wrong way. Or maybe I couldn't have T-spun because there are no, I couldn't spin clockwise. Maybe. Well, didn't work out for several reasons, but this is stupid, but not sure what I'm doing here. That was a risk. Now we need a line. Level 7, already sweating. Just need to get the level down. Dang it. No. Did not get to 7,000. Look at that. Interesting. It's almost as if, I don't even notice the stat screen down there isn't real descriptive, is it? I guess I would need to know the colors there. Anyways, good job, Greg Zumwalt, as it says right there. Thank you for your service. We're going to call it for this week. If I can get back to the software. And we've run into quite the quandary here as far as Tetris games go. We're going semi-chronologically as surfaced on the list of official Tetris games page of the Tetris Wiki. And there are 3 in a row that are official Tetris games, apparently, but as official as it got back then, anyway. Not strictly speaking, like it's Versus Tetris, Blockseed, and Flashpoint, which I'm actually unfamiliar with. Blockseed and Flashpoint are 2 Sega games. I just don't know what exactly I'm looking at there. Sega was publishing or making the Tetris arcade cabinets in Japan, so I wonder if that was a try at following up the massive success there, but I don't know. So we might just be skipping ahead to Atari's arcade version of Tetris for the States. So it depends. If I how crazy do I want to get? I also did a fair amount of research on the Tetris Game Watch, which when I saw that, I was like, oh, they made a Tetris Game & Watch, like a little handheld Nintendo thing. No, they made a watch with Tetris on it. So they're for a working one, we are over $100 at this point on eBay. So I don't think I'm going to do that. That's the line is definitely drawn before the Tetris Game Watch for sure. But at the very least, you're looking at the Atari semi-legal version of the Atari Tetris for arcades from 1989. So if I get a wild hair, you might be looking at Versus Tetris, which, am I going to need another person for that? I have no idea what Blockseed is, have no idea what Flashpoint is. Maybe when I go play Tetris Forever here in just a few seconds, it might be longer than that. Again, and I don't know if I'm going to stream it or if that's even legal, but if at all possible, that would be great to enjoy that game with you guys. But for now, come back next week, at the very least, for another Tetris, absolutely. Quite possibly Tetris for the for the arcade cabinets that Atari put out in 1989. So until then, you can always find me on Patreon and PayPal. Those are the avenues where you can patronize or PayPal me. That keeps me in business, more or less. Tells me less about the money, although one less job wouldn't hurt at this point. Less about the money and more about the people. So either way, you can find me over there at those doing that, and liking and subscribing always helps from what I understand. And this does exist. This does not exist. Tetris Tuesdays does not exist, but all the other shows I do exist as podcasts as well. You can find me, just search Ryan Runs and it'll come up. There's, what have I done lately? So yesterday there was a drop of all the games I played in 2022 and what I thought about them. That would be probably most pertinent to this crowd, but there's also stuff on movies, a little tiny bit of stuff on skateboarding, even though that series has stalled out a little bit. I am about to launch I've got some things in store for January 1st. The channel's going to go to kind of a phase 3, or Ryan Runs is going to go to kind of a phase 3, which will involve the YouTube channel mostly, and maybe an additional one at that. So stick around for all of it, and thank you for hanging out as always. So see you next week.